Great and beautiful morning, everybody. Oh man, hope everyone's having a great morning thus far. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Uh, I just put up a post on my Facebook on. I mean, it is what it is, but I put up a post right now on my friends, on my friendly page, because I have a family page and I have a friends page, and I said, with as many filters as y'all use for your pictures, y'all don't need Halloween masks or costumes. Most of y'all need a Janus God mask. It's a double face God mask. My own cousin, she put that little upset emoji on there. I'm the terrible people, I know, but anyways. Great and beautiful morning. Buenos dias. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone's ready for another week of work. I'm still at home rest, being a butthead some of my friends, even some of my family, but I do it with love, I guess. I guess if I can say to justify it. But anyways, I'm gonna get off the subject here as far as the Bible goes. Of course I might make some biblical statements. Matter of fact, let me grab my Bible just in case I need to say something here in reference to this. But this section, this little pamphlet or booklet, whatever, is an article that I received. The date of publication on this is February 2007. And turn this thing off. I can't remember exactly who sent it to me. It was from a ministry, obviously. And I'm about to crush a lot of y'all's people's belief in this practice. I got it from Harvest Time Books. I believe Harvest Time Books were the ones that started sending me, I think, books from Ellen G. White as far as like Prophets and Kings, The Great Controversy, that kind of stuff. All these different book companies put all these, sell these books or whatever. And this is called Yoga is Dangerous. I don't know how long it might take me. It's a 4-page pamphlet. Yeah, I'm recording this one again on my Galaxy phone. The iPhone is just, I don't know. Okay. See, people, in today's modern world, we have a lot of practices, customs, traditions that the majority of the world has no worldly idea where it comes from. People indulge, I don't even know. People join these groups because their mom, their aunt, their sister, their brother, their uncle, whoever might have talked to them and say, hey, let's go do this, let's go practice this yoga, it's supposed to be very cool. It's supposed to be enlightening. It's supposed to help you relax, stretching. But I stretch. As a matter of fact, I was stretching the other day. Now that I can stretch, that my staples have been removed and my back is feeling better, I still can't walk a great distance. I walked the other day around the clinic over here next door to my sister's, and yeah, it wasn't that great. But there's all these words today and today's vocabulary, like I've told you about good, and Jesus and God. All these words, destiny, fortunate, lucky, all these words are of pagan origin. Okay, and I say them for the purposes of this video. A lot of people have no idea who or what they are invoking because they've never read into these things. And again, a lot of the times people just really don't see the harm in it and invoking pagan gods' names. Okay. But the fact of the matter is if we who are called out, we are not supposed to be saying those names. Okay. But like I stated, I am saying them for the sake of this video. There it is. There's my booklet on the temple. So I'll read to you something here before I start, just as a reminder that we're not supposed to be mentioning. Again, I can't even find it, but as far as not mentioning the names of pagan gods or goddesses. Okay. Wow, I can't find it. But I'll read to you something out here, out of the book of Hosea or Hoshea. Oh, stop bothering people. Okay, in the prophecies, in the book of Hosea, we read in chapter 2, starting from verse 16, I'll read. And it will be in that day, says Yahweh, that you will call me Ishi, my husband, and will no longer call me Bali, which means my Lord. For I will take away the names of the lords, or the Balim, gods, Elohim, and goddesses out of her mouth, and their names will no longer be called upon. This has only come to pass, at the house of Yahweh. Because the house of Yahweh does not mention the words I mentioned earlier, nor do they preach or teach in the name of any god. Okay. I started to emphasize a few videos back as far as what Yisrael Hawkins is teaching, and that is to abstain from God worship, because God worship has brought this whole confusion upon the land. It is God worship that has brought hatred among the nations, among people versus people, nation against nation, people just hating each other all over the level. My God is better than yours, and my God is better than yours, and my God did this, and my God did that. And so God worship, idolatry has brought on all this confusion and hatred throughout the land. I can't remember where the other one's at. But anyways, when we are called out, we are to choose to stop to mention the mentioning of these names of the gods. That is the purpose of being called out, is to give up God worship for Yahweh worship. This is exactly what the house of Yahweh does through Mr. Hawkins, him supposedly being a Levite, because the Levites in the times of the Exodus did not return to God worship. Again, I bet y'all miss a lot of that stuff. Okay. I know for a fact Christianity has missed a lot of things in the Bible. Okay, here it is in Exodus 23:13. Let me, I don't have a pen on me, but I'm going to use this one here. I know for a fact Christianity has missed a lot of the spiritual meanings of the scriptures, and what the Levite means. Being a Levite means being a seed of Yahweh, or a son of Yahweh, or the seed of Abraham and the lineage of Abraham. All these things Christianity has failed to realize. Oh no, but Mr. Hawkins is a false prophet. Exodus 23:13. Hosea 2:17. It says, Exodus 23:13, "In all things I have said to you, be careful to do them, and make no mention of the name of hinder gods, neither let it be heard from your mouth." Okay, in your Bible, of course, in the ever popular King James and NIV and whatever else you might have, it says the name of other gods, trying to make you think that Yahweh is just another God. Like I made a statement on one of my last videos, how women are so dumb to call themselves a slut or a whore when they say my man left me for another slut. She's just putting herself in that same category by saying another slut or whatever. Okay, or it's not necessarily all bad words like the F word and whatever else, but just to get my point across. Okay, so anyways, so yes, people, in this God worship, in this article of yoga, is mentioned the names of many gods. Okay, people have no idea who or what they might be invoking. I even read an article not too long ago where this guy supposedly broke his ribs trying to do some kind of stretch in yoga. Let alone, a lot of people don't even know what that word yoga means. Okay. All right. I'll start reading here. Like I said, I don't know how long it'll take me to read through this whole thing. It's a 4-page pamphlet. I found it very interesting. I started using some of this stuff on the book I was writing while I was in the feds, but I lost all my research as far as that goes. You can find it; it's no big problem. But I already had everything down to where I had about 30 something chapters in my book. Anyways, here we go. Yoga is dangerous. It is the capturing of souls for perdition. Yoga is a multi-headed dragon that has invaded the Western world. To whatever degree it is accepted by individuals, it weakens and destroys. This brief overview will provide you with a view of its origins, inner teachings, methods of capture, and terrible dangers. You may have loved ones or friends who are considering dabbling in this. Share this article with them. They need this warning before it is too late. Okay. Makes me feel great what I'm about to say. I now have 200 likes on the video of Yahweh and Yeshua's name removed from the scriptures. That one has had a lot of hits in the past month, or maybe the past 2 to 3 weeks. It went from like 120 something or 140 something to 200 in just a few weeks. People are catching on. Like I said, people, y'all need to share and like these videos, or like and share, okay? Because these things are factual. All right. Invading the West. From the East to over here, we are the West. As I read to y'all some of the history as far as like Rome goes, and with all its godly practices and worship, we have the same thing here. We have many different religions, man-made religions in this country alone that can clearly, mirror Egyptian God worship. The Trinity is Egyptian. Sun worship is Egyptian. I mean, all these things have come and invaded our lands here, and people have just accepted them with open arms. Mother worship, mother God worship, mother son worship, and just, I mean, it's whatever is in your Christian belief. A lot of it has to do with pagan God worship. Okay. It says you need only visit the exercise classes and keep fit gyms in a local sports hall or school to see the invasion in progress. Articles, advertisements, and stories are everywhere to be found in the media. You will be told about the wonderful health benefits of these simple exercises and how they improve poise, personality, and success in life. But you are about to learn that the opposite occurs. Just like a lot of people believe Christianity is going to save their souls. Like right now, I was watching a video while I was making my coffee, eating some cereal. That it was the first few minutes was really great. It was a Christian video, and the guy is saying that the theology today and today's people and today's thinking is God can make you rich, God can make you healthy. Well, even if his name was God, which is not, our Father in heaven, I don't know about riches, but he did give Job like triple the amount he had, but because he was a righteous man. And a righteous man means that he was keeping the laws of our Father. Health. Yes, he can make us healthy people by following his laws, by not eating pork, by not eating catfish, clams, oysters, hippos, rhinoceroses, dogs, cats. Don't eat none of that stuff, people, and you'll be a healthy person. Okay. Stop eating the foods that are prohibited. Believe me, you will be a lot healthier. Our Father knows best, people. As you know, if you have ever thought, well, I mean, I'm not that anyways. If you ever thought you were smarter than the Father, then you shouldn't even be reading the Bible or studying it or commenting on people's videos. But our Father in heaven can make us healthy people, very healthy people, by obeying His laws. Don't eat this, don't eat this, eat this, eat this. But people just, whatever. People just don't care. All right. There is I can see a lot of scriptural stuff here already, just with what I know, what Yahweh has revealed to me. There is a well-organized and highly successful campaign in progress to get yoga into all our schools, kindergartens, nurseries, churches, hospitals, offices, sports centers, and homes. In one school, Watts Learning Center, a large public school, the children sit in a circle and toss a ball to one another. Whoever receives it calls out a mantra. Today it is Sat Nam, Satnam. It's two different words. Hollins, the instructor, leads a meditation in which the children sit in a Siddhasana and chant Sat Nam together for 3 minutes. Then, after taking part in a certain peculiar postures and physical exercises, they have deep meditation periods for a little while. Did you notice the Trinity there? 3 minutes. Just something I picked up. In the 1990s, Hollywood helped this Eastern mysticism, which is so entwined as the basis of several Far Eastern religions. So it has become well known and popularized. Video presentations by Jane Fonda, Ali McGraw, and Rodney Yee encouraged millions to turn with interest to yoga. Musical groups including Sting and Madonna, and sports heroes such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dan Marino, and John McEnroe. This is all from y'all know Abdul-Jabbar is one of the best. He was one of the best in basketball. Tall guy. Fought Bruce Lee in one of the movies. Dan Marino, of course, the Miami Dolphins, and John McEnroe play tennis. Added to the enthusiasm for these strange body positions, breathings, and meditation periods. That's what I said a couple of videos back, or the last video. People follow the popular modern day people because they're celebrities and because they think they have something important to say. Not to me, they don't. Unless it's something actually very positive that would encourage me to be a better person. But other than that, but yeah, like I was stating about Kanye West, I don't hate the guy. The guy is just dumb for saying what he did. I would never try to declare DEFCON 3 on anybody, Jews or non-Jews, Oh boy, crazy. He's gonna bury himself. Just watch. But yeah, I mean, just because these people are celebrities and famous people does not mean they have anything really positive to give you. It's just like the Vatican Catholic Church telling people that they need to go over there because that's a true church. Well, it is, but it doesn't mean they teach you anything righteous as far as Yahweh's laws and His name goes. The following advertisement, sponsored by Sunrise Education Trust, which was set up in 1990 and runs a nursery at a primary school, appeared in a local newspaper. Children are taught meditation and respect for all humans and animals. I don't need yoga to respect people. On Friday, there is a yoga circle, rounded off with a concert on spiritual music plus a vegetarian meal. The Friday event is obviously designed to also draw adults into yoga. It all sounds so inviting. Another organization, Yoga for Youth, says its mission is to provide children and teenagers with a solid physical, mental, and emotional foundation through the practice of yoga and meditation. Meditate on the Bible, people. Meditate on Scripture. Meditate like on the 6th day at sunset, before sunset. Offer the Sabbath to Yahweh and say, I'm going to read, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to study the Word, the Law, and the Prophets. And you fast, you meditate, you focus on Yahweh's Word. Like I said a few videos back, when I was doing it in the feds, I'm a big boy. I love to eat. It didn't affect me. I was so focused, it didn't affect me. I went on for a whole day from sunset to sunset without eating or drinking. It's very, very effective. It really is. Okay. It calms you down. The meditating calms you down. It gets you focused on Yahweh's word. You get a lot of meaning. You get answers. When you offer Yahweh Sabbath to him as holy, you ask for answers, and he'll give it to you. Okay. Let's see. Even prisoners are being introduced to the acclaimed benefits of yoga and meditation, especially young offenders. Get them while they're young, with the stated intention of helping them discover their deepest self. Self-centered? I mean, a lot of us did that in prison. We didn't need yoga to, to discover ourselves. I found out, I mean, there is no excuse for people for the wrong things that we do, whether we say, well, I was drunk or I was high on coke or I was smoking weed. There is no excuse. There is no excuse to defend an error. Like even Ellen G. White said, I knew I was doing wrong, and I had a lot of time to focus and recenter myself. And even though I'm not 100% where I want to be, I'm very close to achieving my better way of thinking, better coping with people, not being too sarcastic, but sometimes people ask for it, because even one of the Kohans, one of the priests at the House of Yahweh in Laredo, even said, because of me, they were calling me a smartass. He said, well, just be a good one. Well, he didn't say good, but he says, but just be a great one at it. Okay, all right. So anyways, the Phoenix Prison Trust is one of the organizations invading the prisons with this deadly mind-controlling virus. It offers 102 yoga classes in 75 prisons as a mind cure and as a means of getting in touch with self. What they do not tell the prisoners is that the self is not their own selves or inner consciousness, but it is the universal self, the combined wisdom of immortal souls, collectively called the super soul or the mind of consciousness, a supernatural occult force of spiritism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. Okay, this is what I was kind of like looking for here a few sentences back. In finding yourself, you can be a more spiritual, or you can be a spiritual person now through the reading of Yahweh's laws and prophets, and reading the book of Psalms and the book of Proverbs. It educates you. It sharpens your mind. It sharpens your wits. Okay, this stuff, no. These are man-made traditions. These are man-made philosophies, or just philosophies. And Colossians 2:8 says, stay away from philosophy. What it claims to offer. In the West, we have been presented with a very one-sided picture. Yoga and meditation are portrayed as just alternative forms of relaxation or recreation. They're just, so is drinking, right? Hey, I drink. I don't get drunk. I was just telling my girl the other day, since we're finding out more about each other, I said, no, baby. I drink. And I said, and even if I drink a lot, I said, I'm a happy drunk. I love just being there. Like, we mostly do this with my family in Mexico, and it's chill. It's very, very chill. Está chido, like they say in Mexico, right? It's just a relaxing time. I'll sit there, drink my beers, walk around, go get some food, go use the bathroom, munch up, be with my girl. And I told her, so when the time comes, you'll see me. I said, baby, I'm ready to go to bed. Let's just find me a couch or whatever. You know what I mean? I am not a violent drunk. Never have been. I always just like to drink my beer and go home and sleep, and that's it. Okay, not anymore. As a matter of fact, me and my buddy Jesse, when we went to Houston, we were talking about that. As we're not kids no more. He and I are well, he's gonna be 48 before I am, but we're at 48 already. He and I, and we cannot drink like we used to. No way. I know some friends of mine or schoolmates, people in and around my age, that that's all they do is drink. I'm like, man, there's more to life than just drinking, man. Híjole. Anyways, so it says they are just ways of relieving stress, rebalancing, and healing. It's a lot better than the scriptures, believe me. Describing it, well-known yoga practitioner Swami Chinmayananda Chinmayananda says this. Excuse me, sir, if you're watching this and I mispronounce your last name. Yoga meditation, he says, can never fail. It will ever be a success. It is a contemplative flight. We must have the confidence of a protecting power. Yahweh is the protecting power. Like I told you about the keeping of his Sabbaths and his seventh-day Sabbath and his feast days, those are a shadow of protection from things to come. That's the all protection that we need. And this is from his book, Meditation and Life, pages 81 and 82. I'm going to look those up. In the book, Light on the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, from B.K.S. Iyengar, makes the following claims about the powers which yoga is supposed to impart to, the serious practitioner. It was cold in here this morning. Now it's getting warm quick. He says, and these are claims numbered 1 through 12. He begins to know the past and future. He understands the language of all people, birds, and animals. Wow. Speaking in tongues, huh? He knows his past and future lives. He reads the minds of others. He becomes invisible at will. Wow. Oh, and by the way, great game yesterday. Cowboys kick butt. He knows the exact time of his death by intuition or through omens. 6. He clearly sees objects near and far, gross and fine, and concealed. Wow. 7. He reads the movements of stars from the pole star and predicts world events. Well, first of all, we're not supposed to be studying astrology. Okay. Those are against Yahweh's laws. Nobody can see into the future. We can't. Even that guy in that video I said I was watching earlier, he even said we can not even see what's going to come to us in a minute's time. 8. He has the power to perceive anything and everything. 9. He leaves his body consciously and enters other bodies at will. I don't know about that stuff. See, people, I have to see, hear, and read something that captures my imagination or my attention. With like a movie, if it doesn't catch my attention in the first 15 minutes, probably boring anyways. I don't watch a lot of chick flicks. I've watched my share of them, but like I don't have them saved on the apps here or on the DVR or whatever, whatever. 10. He creates fire at will. Wow. What do they call that? Arsony? Yeah, something like whatever. Anybody can do that. You don't need yoga to start fires. 11. He levitates or floats and flies through the air. You don't need no carpet for this. And 12. He controls nature's constituents, qualities, and purposes. Let me tell you something, people. And without directly trying to put this in scripture, but this is kind of in a sort of weird, strange, awkward way pertaining to those whom Yahweh will give when that time comes. The plan for mankind, like I brought it out to y'all, is to give mankind that authority over the birds in the air, the beasts, and other creepy crawly things of the land, and the animals, fish in the sea. I really don't think we're going to be able to be starting fires at will. I don't know. I don't know a lot of my Bible, like I said, but what I do know is this guy sounds like a cuckoo. So now the article continues. The untrue, actually fantastic claims are made in order to draw people into trying to become masters of yoga under a supposed master or guru. Yet, all the while they imagine that they are moving up the ladder of progress, they are damaging their own personality while providing this master with funds to nicely support him in his useless postures. But there is a far more to yoga and meditation than that. Such pupils are opening a door to satanic mind control. This may seem like a strong statement, but supporting evidence will be presented below. Only read the next section if you want to understand more clearly the terminology. I do. Otherwise, skip some or all of it and go on to the next section. The following information is provided because part of the initial fascination with yoga are its strange terms. The terms, as I was stating at the beginning of this video, is the word usage that we have in today's vocabulary, which is why the House of Yahweh are the only ones who do not use such terms. Okay, they've done the research, people. Believe me, they've done the research. They've done the breaking down of words and phrases because a lot of it is of pagan origin. Basic vocabulary. See, basic vocabulary right here. Okay. And as I'm telling you people, I'm reading this verbatim. I never knew what that word meant. Like I told you, my vocabulary is not all that great. We had this guy named Mr. Miller, real nice guy from Houston, I believe. When I heard him say that, I was like, what? He's like, what? I said, what does that mean? He said, what? I said, verbatim. He says, word for word. I was like, you learn something new every day, people. But I've noticed, and I come to the realization that you don't need to have the most grandeur vocabulary in your mouth to study the scriptures. You don't need it. I was talking to my nephew, I was telling you last week, and he's very smart. And I was telling him, like he was telling me, he goes, I really don't think I'm going to be using this a whole lot of math when the time comes. He says, I worry about it, when it comes to my attention. I was like, you're right. He says, all I really know how to do, and he's still learning because he's, 10 years old, is how to multiply, divide, and subtract, and add, whatever. I'm like, that's all you really need. Unless you're going to be studying calculus and trigonometry and whatever. Okay, a person who is trying to master yoga is called a yogi, like Yogi Bear. There are several types or schools of yoga that are all based on the Hindu holy book, the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that's the proper pronunciation. And the various yoga sutras. Sutras, not sutras, but sutras. All types of yogas can generally be placed under one or another of the following 4 types. I like that. I'm gonna read this again. I've read this more than a few times, but I'm about to notice something here. I got my pen ready. Raja Yoga, psychophysical meditation, which Patanjali Maharishi made into a definite system called Ashtanga Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, which means devotion. Okay, these are all just according to the article. Okay, I have not looked these up, so don't say, well, how do we know that's what it means, Auli? I don't. Okay, I'm just reading the article. 3, Karma Yoga. Activities done to eliminate personal contamination. You can do that through the word, through the scriptures. Get rid of our carnal nature, our sinful ways. Jnana Yoga, pronounced Guan or Jnana, self-transcending knowledge. It's no good. Knowledge of the world is against the knowledge of Yahweh through the scriptures. All other forms are essentially Raja Yoga, meditation, or Hatha Yoga, which emphasizes rhythmic breathing and visualization techniques. In order to fill out the picture, mention should be made of artistic yoga, yoga with an acrobatic emphasis, dynamic yoga, dynamic. Dynamic yoga is a combination of Ashtanga and Hatha yoga. Power Chi yoga, a mixture of Tai Chi movements, all the like Madonna does, I guess, which is a Power Chi yoga, is a mixture of Tai Chi movements, stretches, and breathing yoga. Nada yoga, nada means nothing, right? Yoga of sound. Yoga Nidra, yoga of divine sleep, and Anasura yoga, which is a type of Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is the most famous of the non-traditional Hindu schools of yoga and is the basis of the most modern systems. It is estimated that in America alone, there are over 30 million individuals practicing Hatha yoga. This is from R.D. Moore. Yoga is Powerful, page 77. People become fascinated by yoga because of its exotic claims and physical contortions. Then, upon trying it, they imagine that they feel better for a time, but they do not realize that there is a dark spirit giving them that good feeling for a short time until he has them under more direct control. Inherent in yoga is the Hindu belief that reality, everything around us, is an illusion. Kind of like being in the Matrix, huh? Is an illusion. Maya, the Hindu word for illusion. So you're telling me the Maya never existed? Yoga claims to lead a person to the truth. No, the Holy Spirit leads us into all truth through proper baptism, which the seeker discovers requires a renunciation of reality and a submission to a spirit force. I mean, yeah, when you come to the realization of the truth in the scripture, we can let go of a lot of the illusions that have been brought to our attention through today's churches. Okay, like we've all heard and seen in movies, and the truth shall set you free. Yahweh's truth, the laws and the prophets, the laws and the commandments are truth. I've shown you this in Psalm 119, verses 105, 130, 142, and 151, I think. Yoga's aim is nirvana, or moksha, which is an escape from the cycle of reincarnation. This is said to be done by uniting in oneness with the self, or Atman, Brahman. To do this is the objective of yoga. The person is actually trying to submit to a spirit power which is not of God. The result is dangerous in the extreme. Do y'all see the confusion that all this brings? All these things you have to do and not do and let go of and accept and grasp and, wow. Like, what was that guy's name? Stifler? And that first movie, American Pie, when he said, that sounds like a lot of work. It does. It sounds like a lot of work, man. It's crazy. To me, and just what I read in my research in times past, like I was reading a book by Israel Regardie. He was a magician. And I think it was he or another lady brought up in that same book. Whoever it was, they said, you have to self-center in this witchcraft type stuff, because if you don't, that's whatever slightness that you don't do can be an effect on you. Y'all see the resentment? Y'all look it up. This is all tied in. This is all just a bunch of crap, man. It's crazy. I myself, allow me to share something with you. I believe, like I told you a few videos back, that I have been called out because when I was young, around the time that I heard the name of Yahweh, I had heard that little voice in my ear saying, Olegario, Olegario. And I was just kind of like, but I've never played with Ouija boards. I've never touched tarot cards. I mean, I've done the stupidest, slightest magic tricks, but I've never really dealt in that kind of stuff. Never touched it. Like literally, which I think it's all bullcrap anyways, but I never touched that stuff. My sisters, that stuff can affect people. That's indulging in magic and sorcerers and mediums, and they can ruin you. My sisters are doing great, and I'm thankful for it. But they had hell. My sister had seen, supposedly that night we were at a friend's cousin's house here in town when we were kids, not kids, but like in junior high, I think. My sister Lori said she thought she saw an old man's face in the mirror when there was actually just a wall behind that mirror. There was no door, nothing like that. And my sister Rosie, I can't remember exactly what, but she was going through some real bad times at one time. Me, I don't look at this as a bad time. I really don't. Going to prison is not something what I'm talking about, but I mean, that stuff can affect you really. And you think it doesn't because your mind is already drowned in it. You think you're doing all right by doing those things. See, it's bringing me good money and this and that, and I'm doing all right. Well, whatever. Like I said, people, y'all do whatever y'all want. If you really truly believe that that's the right thing to do, and witchcraft and whatever. In the Western world, Hatha Yoga and its variant Kundalini Yoga are most frequently taught. Hatha Yoga is a system of invoking occult energies, and it consists of physical exercises and postures called asana, placing the body in a certain strange positions and holding them a while. Kundalini Yoga emphasizes the occult energy said to be found coiled at the base of the spine. That's where I had my surgery. It probably removed that serpent out of there, huh? After entering the body from the universal spirit, it is symbolized by a coiled female serpent. What a coincidence, right? Female serpent, Satan. Kundalini Yoga uses breath, sound, and meditation as its major resources. It specifically tries to move the breath along the spine to stimulate different chakras. Hatha and Kundalini Yoga both integrate pranayama, breathing certain ways, asana, strange body positions, mudra, which is grotesque hand positions, and mantras, mindlessly chanting certain words or phrases over and over. A repetitive of words in prayer is prohibited. The hand gestures, what came into my mind, the thing that the aliens are doing in the Close Encounter of the Third Kind. Hatha and Kundalini Yoga both integrate pranayama. Okay, I already read this. The immediate goal of the various yoga practices is to invoke the chi force in order to receive power, healing, etc. Chi, a Chinese word for spirit, is a spirit power said to flow into the person practicing yoga and through the 7 major chakras. This is exactly what I was saying at the beginning of the video. People don't know a lot of these words they're invoking, so how would you know if what you're praying to or wording by mouth is what they're telling you if you don't do this kind of work, research? It's just like on one of the shows of Carlos Mencia when he was big. Of course, a lot of the people in the audiences are paid actors, but he brought to the point tattoos, and he had somebody in the crowd. He says, "Who has a tattoo that they just got?" And this guy picked up his hand, and he picked it up. He picked up his sleeve, and I believe it was a Japanese or Chinese, something. And I think Carlos Mencia asked him what it meant. He told him it meant this. But I was like, how do you know that's what it means? And he said, for all you know, and he said something vulgar, it could mean this. But you don't know. So when you invoke certain words, people are like, for the sake of this video, like happy, mentioning a pagan god's name in that word. Fortune, the goddess Fortuna. Luck is a pagan god. Destiny as well. Good is a pagan word, means God-led. There's just so many, you know what I mean? So doing this, as far as already being a non-believer, you're just digging yourself a hole deeper and deeper and deeper by the mentioning of all these God's names. Okay. Qi is a Chinese word for spirit. Is a spirit power said to flow into the person practicing yoga through the 7 major chakras. Everything done in yoga is purposely done to bring this chi or chai or spirit power into one's body and mind. You know what? That just brought something to my mind. That is the prefix for Chicago. According to Hindu, Buddhist, and certain other ancient religions, chakras are the spiritual energy centers of the body. Stimulating them is supposed to show a person's state of health as well as his spiritual and physical abilities. I just had a friend of mine who was recently involved in an accident. She got rear-ended, her and her son. They're doing all right, thankfully. Let's see here. Yoga techniques, I got lost. Yoga techniques are said to increase energy in the cycle of karma bondage. After his father's death, Rabindranath was expected to continue on with his father's senseless practices. So, shortly thereafter, Rabindranath entered the Durga Hindu temple in Port of Spain, Trinidad. The population of Trinidad is about 90% Hindu. Rabindranath, nicknamed Rabi, was entrusted to a well-respected guru, a Brahmin or a Brahman priest who was thoroughly learned in Hinduism. This was a guru, right? He was a master. Rabindranath told how very early each morning, day after day, he and the other students would have to chant the mantra Hari Om Tat Sat and say prayers. While TM, where did I get that from? While TM followers in the US are told they are to pray the universal self, Rabindranath was told that he was calling upon the Hindu god Hanuman to enter his mind and body. He was told that the mantra was a necessity for those carrying on the daily transcendental meditation, which he described as the heart of yoga. Somehow, before his mind was destroyed, Rabindranath managed to wake up to what was happening to him. He escaped before it was too late. In his book, he tells that what had happened to so many others was happening to him. There's that word again, right? Happy. Again, we are not to pray to any gods or those Hindu gods that we left behind. This is exactly what these people are doing. Quote, frightening psychic experiences awaited the unwary meditator, similar to a bad trip on drugs. Demons described in the Vedas, or Hindu holy books, had been known to take possession of some yogis, or yogai, right? Kundalini power, said to be coiled like a serpent at the base of the spine, could produce ecstatic experiences when released in deep meditation, or if not properly controlled, it could do great mental and even bodily harm. Doing the practices of God worship, going back to our sinful nature, our sinful ways, confuses the mind. Okay? We can't make the proper judgment. It's just like being under the influence of marijuana or being drunk. Doing this sinful nature hinders us from making proper and righteous judgments, and therefore our righteous character. Okay. This you have, if you're paying attention, if you watch my videos on the practices, the customs and traditions, a lot of this kind of falls into syncretism, the mixture, and all this taking of different religions. If you've done the research like I have, I can clearly say this because I've done my research. A lot of people may not think the way I do as far as this kind of stuff goes, but if all you've ever studied was one particular field of religion, you're not gonna know what everybody else is doing. You won't be able to say, well, that guy's copying, that country's copying China, and China has been copying, whatever. These practices are out there. The line between ecstasy and horror was very fine. For that reason, we initiates were closely supervised by the Brahmacharya and his assistant. During the daily meditation, I began to have visions of psychedelic colors, to hear unearthly music, and to visit exotic planets where the gods converse with me, encouraging me to attain even the higher states of consciousness. I think I remember reading something like this that the Mormons put out as far as like visiting other planets. Sometimes in my trance, I encountered the same horrible demonic creatures that are depicted by the images in Hindu, Buddhist, Shinto, and other religious temples. It was a frightful experience. This is from Rabindranath R. Maharaj, Death of a Guru. Um, Death of a guru. It said earlier he escaped before it was too late, but that personality trait I think was what died, right? Just like Adam and Eve lost, they died spiritually when they committed sin against Yahweh's commandment. Despite this, his Brahmacharya, Hindu instruction or instructor, I can't tell because I put a hole in it, who was also the spiritual leader of the temple, assured Rabindranath that all this was normal and urged him to keep going deeper in order to receive self-realization. I don't think so, buddy. I would have stopped there. At times, he experienced feelings of what he called mystical unity with the universe. Indeed, sometimes he felt that he was the universe, Lord of all, omnipotent, and omnipresent. They are the words. I was talking about this omnipresent in a few videos back, that Christians say that God is omnipotent and omnipresent. So now you know where you get that stuff from, huh, Christians? You guys are Hindu. Or maybe they took it from you guys. I don't know. I'm sorry, I have to get close like this because my back is hurting. Both he and his spiritual instructors were excited about his rapid progress to the status of his father. He was told that these were clear signs that he was a chosen vessel, destined for early success in the search for a union with Brahman. He says that the forces which had guided and controlled my father were now guiding me. Such experiences as seeing psychedelic colors, hearing unearthly music, and visiting exotic planets where the gods converse with him have been verified by parapsychologists and well-known researchers and psychologists, such as the late Dr. Carl Jung. I have one of his books. It's a very, very cool book to read. It's The Transcending of Symbolism, something like that. In addition, many others have told of having experienced such things. Soon, Rabindranath was being worshipped as a guru and master yogi and accumulated a good sum of money that was daily laid at his feet. The experience of Rabindranath is not unusual in all schools of yoga. The guru is said to be indispensable. He is a siddha who has attained the 8 siddhis or powers of yoga. When doing yoga, the student is urged to find his sadguru or a true teacher, and then devote himself to that guru's learning and obeying what he says to do. As Rabindranath got deeper into yoga, he describes one occasion when he and his cousin Krishna, sounds like Krishna, huh, had been choked and slapped across the face by an invisible hand. Weird people. Okay. Yeah, it'll take me the next hour to finish this. Or more or less anyways. But yeah, people, this book is very informative. I've got a few minutes here. More information on the dangers. All Eastern forms of the meditation in the West of often referred to as transcendental or transmission meditation, or TM, that's what that word, that those abbreviations stood for earlier, are derived from the spirit contacting meditation, which is the foundation of yoga sublimation. Transmission meditation is compatible with all other forms of meditation. It is in fact a variation of Kriya Yoga. But the work is done by the masters scientifically and occultly. Occultly, like the occult, in other words. This is from Maitreya's Mission, Volume 1, page 346. Here's how one physician describes some of the effects of the type of spirit-seeking meditation used in yoga and similar New Age techniques. Do you see how this stuff changes? New Age techniques. Just like Christianity will find New Age and modern day teachings to teach the people. Oh, we don't live in those biblical times no more. Actually, we are, and still in biblical times. Transcendental meditation frequently involves hallucinations and dissociated loss of contact with reality, episodes that are difficult to treat, disruption of breathing patterns occurs. Once dissociation has been achieved, the personalization follows. Relationships with the world are ruptured, and the subject becomes isolated and inaccessible. This may result in suicide. This is from Sir James Watt, The New Age Phenomena, page 11. Okay, so people, this stuff is it's terrible. If you're trying to achieve higher self, I believe you're trying to exalt yourself. That is the way I see it. I could be wrong. We are supposed to be, as true followers of Yahweh's word, humble people, doing the righteous works, helping others to guide them through Yahweh's truth. Like it says, I'm going to start covering here after this and the next video on the 7 seals and trumpets, that says the reason why a lot of people have a hard time understanding the teachings of the house of Yahweh is because our Messiah was not a Christian. He did not found Christianity. He did not teach Christian doctrines, okay? Rome. But these things, people, like I said earlier at the beginning of the video, needs to be looked for. Hey, what am I getting myself into? Just like when you're going to go buy a car or a house. Hey, what am I getting myself? Let me know. Give me the facts, just like Carfax, supposedly, right? It's supposed to give you the history of a car. Look into this kind of stuff as well. When I read this and then knowing about not mentioning those Hindu gods like that, you'll never see me doing yoga. Not even dead. Okay? But it's just like, I tell you, I remember a lot of movie lines. If y'all ever saw the movie Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield, man was he was a very funny guy. But he and his girlfriend, that kid's mother, were out looking for a house to buy so they could move in together, But they come across this 2-story house. She's like, "Oh, look, honey, a 2-story house." Like, yeah. Before you buy it, they give you one story, and then after you buy it, it's another story. It's the true in these kind of things. In the Matrix, it's told the same thing. Morpheus tells Keanu. He tells Mr. Anderson, Neo. He says, "All I'm offering is the truth. Okay, I can only show you the door, but you have to walk through it." Okay, a lot of these things, especially in the Matrix, are real, people. If you're gonna do something like this, look into it first. Hey, especially if you're trying to be a spiritual person. I'm probably the most non-spiritual person, but I try. Okay, but at least now I know that I'm not gonna jump in there head first because he used nice and pretty words. Again, like I stated a few videos back about an insurance. They can tell you all these things over here, one story, and then when you're trying to make a claim, oh, well, it's not in our policy. Yeah, but you told me that. Yeah, but I told you a lot of things. Okay, and your ignorance as far as not reading that policy is on you, not on them. Okay, so read, people, look into what it is you're going to put your hands and feet into before you do it, because like it says there, by the time you know it, you're in there head, hands, and feet deep. You probably won't be able to come out of it. Okay, so I will cover the next few pages in the next video. I'm already about an hour, so hope you all have a great day, and the comment section is open. This on yoga, I probably won't do any more research. I just had this pamphlet there since when I was in the feds, and I've been wanting to cover it for the past couple of weeks. Yeah, I think even before my surgery. But leave your comments and questions. Look into it, research it if you're about to do something like that. But like I said, and mostly all my videos, you all believe whatever you want, but not all of it is beneficial for you. Okay, so y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.